And we are live. What's going on, everybody? This is Rob, the Warrior Strategist, coming at you from sunny San Diego. It is Tuesday evening, and it's been a long day for me. A lot of stuff going on. I did a run today, and I did it really late in the day, and then I was supposed to take a nap for 10 minutes, which ended up being me sprawled out on my couch, passed out like a grizzly bear that's been hit with a tranq dart. There is nothing better than an end-of-day nap on your wonderful couch, just passing out. Yesterday, I finally shed my wolf boy status, and I ended up getting a haircut. This is my first haircut since March. I feel like I lost 20 pounds in head weight alone. Anytime I'm trying to exercise or dump some water weight, haircut, first thing I do, because it aligns my big giant melon and takes away all the side fur. So that's a good thing. What's going on, Miller? Good to see you, man. Hopefully everything's going well today. So what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I want to talk about a different subject than I usually do. I want to talk about teen entrepreneurship. I'm glad Miller's here. I should have tagged you because you're like the prime example of what I'm going to talk about tonight. But yeah, things have been going well. Reached out to a lot of potential clients today, promoted some people, and ate a little better, and then just ran out in the sun and sweated like a filthy animal. It was great. And just woke up from my nap. I'm going to do a little client work tonight and then wrap it up. So let's just jump into it. So with the advent of COVID-19, a lot of people are spending a lot of time with their teens. And teenagers are awesome because there's a lot of advantages that they have in the entrepreneurial world. To start with, adults haven't crushed their hopes and dreams yet. They still believe that they have a chance of actually making it in the world. They have unbridled optimism, a lot of creativity. There's a lot of reasons that teenagers make really good entrepreneurs because they really do believe that anything's possible. And I always encourage teenagers to be wildly creative and go into entrepreneurship. So tonight I'm going to talk about a couple ways that teenagers can make money. A couple fields they can go into, a couple of resources they can adopt. I wish I'd have had my knowledge at 17 or 18, but then again, we didn't have computers that prevalently. So the game is different today, though. Let me tell you. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ping them in the comments, and I will answer all of them. And let's just see what happens. Let's just have some fun. We're going to talk about some different types of careers that teens can do that are very easy to get into, very low barriers to entry. We're also going to talk about, and also Krista, thanks for tagging them. If you guys know anyone with teens, feel free to tag them in the comments because it's going to be a good lesson. I'm going to share quite a few things. So to start with, the first thing any teenager can do is to jump onto Canva and learn how to do Facebook banners, ebooks, and lists, which can all be sold for profit. And so Canva is wildly easy to learn. And I think teenagers would probably be better at it than adults, to be honest with you, because they have time to do all the tutorials and learn the design features and all this good stuff. For teenagers, Canva is like a freaking playground of money. You can make like so many things in Canva that you can sell. Just a couple of creative ideas. I mean, you guys all know I have a magazine. It's completely free to create. The only person I pay is like writers and my cover guy. And all I do is I make a bunch of PDFs on Canva, and then I just bind them all together and put them on a free hosting site. And then I make thousands of dollars every time an issue comes out, just helping people get coverage, right? Now, I don't recommend that you jump into a magazine as your first project because it is complicated. It does take time to get good at it. but it's a worthwhile venture. But I do recommend that you learn how to make ebooks, you learn how to make resource books, you learn how to make Facebook banners, otherwise known as headers. And what I mean by that is every Facebook group or every Facebook profile has that big rectangular picture at the very top. And a lot of people don't take advantage of that. That's advertising space. And if your goofy teenager knows how to make a good banner that has somebody's logo, that has their name, has the the website URL, that has good graphic interpretation, they can sell these guys. And if they have a unique flair to it, to where they can make really cool ones for Facebook groups especially, there's a lot of money to be made. I don't know anybody that specializes in Facebook banners. I make my own. But you can go on Canva pretty easily, use the template they have, and just grab a collage of photos or make your own, whatever. But there's a lot of money for some teenager that's going to do this. The next things teenagers can do is make list ebooks where they compile information in one topic and just pop it into an ebook, make it into a PDF, and sell it. You can get information for lists just by taking polls, by asking on social media, things like that. But there's a lot of potential there. And another thing I just thought of while we're talking is that you can actually make a weekly newsletter if you're a teenager and design it up. You can use Canva to make the top of your newsletter, and then use MailChimp to send out your weekly newsletter. Imagine if you sent out a weekly newsletter that was interesting to young people. Maybe you make it about K-pop, BTS. All the kids are listening to them. They're amazing. What if you made it about most interesting things you found on Fiverr this week, like the most unusual services offered, and you made a newsletter about it. You made a newsletter about hot new, Android apps. Whatever. If you make a subscription newsletter and just charge like $5 a month and release like 2 to 4 a month, eventually you'll build traction. If you make your newsletter really cool with a lot of clickable links, some good graphics, you can make it a thing. And I'm surprised more teenagers aren't taking advantage of this. Weekly newsletters are everything. I've got one. Helps me to connect with my audience. I don't charge for mine, but it's just another way of adding to my advertising platform. So that's one way to do it. Another thing that teenagers can do is become social media creators and do social media posts and graphics specifically for entrepreneurs and adults using Canva. You can batch out your posts and sell them like 10 for $100 or something, and then just have like certain types of social media. Because I'll be honest, a lot of people don't want to do their own social media, and to be really honest, a lot of people suck at it. They're not really that good. If you have a flair for graphic design, you understand how social media works from a psychological and marketing perspective, and some teenagers will surprise you. Some of them are very, very intuitive and pick this up very quickly. Social media might be an idea. The third suggestion I have is design work. Design work just means you either upgrade websites, or you do graphic design, or you create, photo filters. I've seen a lot of cool stuff with Instagram influencers, and as worthless as I think most of them are, their graphic design skills are on point. They know how to, create vector files of photos and do like really colorful, splashy backgrounds and fun fonts. All the things I'm really terrible at. Once in a while I kind of dabble. But to create specialized design pieces for entrepreneurs, that's I feel like that's a great potential for teenagers, especially if they really like doing design stuff, creative stuff. And then number 4 that any teenager can do is to start a media platform and just interview celebrities. There is a definite lack of teenage broadcasters. And I think it'd be really interesting if some teenager were able to interview people and then upload them to Zoom, upload them to YouTube, and then create their own movement and make themselves famous. It's absolutely possible. And all teenagers need is just the guidance and the courage to reach out to famous people. And they could start off with like local politicians, the chief of police, the mayor, and expand outward. And interviewing people is super easy to do. You just have to come up with some interesting questions, do a little background search on your, on your guest. But then your interviews can get more and more like expanded. And so then you're reaching out to athletes, then you're reaching out to professionals, you're reaching out to famous people, millionaires, whatever. But the monetization comes from paid interviews, subscriptions, ads. And once you have traction, once you have a couple hundred listeners every time you do an interview, then you start getting sponsors. And just like I'm doing right now, I'm doing a Facebook Live, right? If I wanted to, I could probably put the word out, create some kind of sponsorship package, and have 3 companies that I promote all the time. I'm surprised I haven't even done it yet. It's a great idea. But if your kid doesn't have like a specific skill set, but they got a cool personality, and I always tell this to adults, just interview famous people. And just make yourself the center of the interview as the broadcaster, and just be interesting. Be a character. There's a lot of ways you can conduct interviews. You can do them, over video. You can type them out and just send people interviews like I do for my magazine, and then incorporate it into a blog or your weekly newsletter. A lot of times I can conduct interviews over email if I want to. And so it's not that hard to make yourself a journalist. And I feel like this market is really underrepresented. I feel like a teenager, some aspiring Diane Sawyer or Steve Harvey out there, could just start interviewing people and make a whole movement around it and get really popular really fast. Because teenagers have better social networks than half the freaking adults I know. Because they have schools and they have these amazing social networks that I have no idea about. It's a generational thing. So with that, guys, I'm going to give my summary real quick and then I'm going to tap out. But highly encourage you to kind of think about these ideas. Think about the personality type of your teenager. And then just get them thinking about what they want to do, because there's a lot of ways they can make money doing this stuff. I do some of this, and I make a good living, and I'm not that smart. So the 4 ways that I was talking about is have your teenager get really good at Canva and make like Facebook banners and ebooks. Have them maybe become social media creators where they're writing posts and creating graphics. Have them look into design work using Canva. For entrepreneurs especially, designers are always in demand. And if they don't have a specific skill set, have them interview celebrities. And so these are some of the ways that you can get your teen doing creative and engaging things for a profit. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks so much for tuning in on this. This is such a great topic because there's a ton of talented teenagers out there that need an outlet for something to do. So with that, I'm going to sign off and work on some client stuff. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you'll have a great night. And super excited I finally got a haircut and don't look like a wolf boy anymore. It's a great day. My first haircut since March. Finally gave in, bit the bullet, and found my stylist, and he hooked it up. So I feel like a human being again. It's awesome. All right, guys, have a great night. This is Rob the Warrior Strategist signing off, and I will talk to you soon.